Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as you can see in the title, is going to be all about the new Violet Voss and Laura Lee palette. I was really excited to get this palette. This was the first time I'd ever used it, so I'm a little disappointed. They weren't really easy to blend out, and they were kind of patchy and didn't stick to my lids. It stuck more to the brush, but I'm obsessed with this palette. I think the colors are gorgeous, so I'm definitely going to give it another chance and try out different colors, because again, it could just be the one color that I was trying to use wasn't great. This is my first ever purchase from Violet Voss. I got this palette along with some glitter that I'm really excited to try out, but even just swatching these, I mean, they are so creamy, they're so buttery. I was really kind of disappointed at how it applied onto my eyes, but again, I'll try it again. There are mattes. These two colors have more of a sheen over it, and then these three colors are very glittery. I think they're just a beautiful variety of colors, and I love it so much. That's why I was so sad that it didn't go as well as I was hoping. It's still, the end product came out looking really pretty, I think. I love doing halo eyes. So yeah, I definitely want to try this again, and I will let you know if it goes any better. But other than that, if you'd like to see how to get this look using the Violet Voss and Laura Lee palette, then just keep watching. So first I'm taking my Photo Focus Eyeshadow Primer by Wet n Wild and just doing that as usual all over my lid, all the way up to my brow bone, in the corner of my eye, and on my lower lash line. And then I'm going into the palette and taking Basic on a Morphe E27 brush, and I'm just using that to set the primer. Next I'm going into Mama Bird on a crease brush. This one's from Urban Decay, and I'm just running that through my crease, making sure it's all blended out. On that same crease brush, I'm just taking the Shadow Britches and putting that on my outer corner, on my inner corner, and then connecting it through the crease. And I'm just going back and forth, buffing it in, making sure it's all blended. Next I'm going into Rammer Jammer on a flat eyeshadow brush, and this is where I started having a lot of problems. The shadow really didn't stick to my lid. It stuck more to the brush and got really clumpy on the brush, and it made it hard to pick up more product to try to pack it onto my lid. Because the eyeshadow wasn't packing onto my lid as well as I hoped, I switched to that crease brush just to try to get more shadow on my lid and try to buff it out. Then I decided to go to a different eyeshadow brush. This one's also by Urban Decay, and this seemed to pack on more product than any other brush I used. So then I just sprayed my brush with setting spray from e.l.f. and just tried to intensify that color. And as you can see, it starts to work a little bit better. This is definitely a look that starts off looking really messy, but in the end product actually pulls itself together a little bit. So just really try hard to get that color packed on there, and then you can blend it out really easily. Going back to that flat shader brush, I'm taking the color Hissy Fit, which is probably my favorite color in this palette. It's a beautiful gold, and I'm just packing this onto the center of my lid, making that halo effect. This one seemed to have packed onto my lid a lot easier than the red color, Rammer Jammer. So here I'm just going back and forth between Rammer Jammer and Hissy Fit, and just packing on the color and then blending it out. Now I'm jumping into my Chocolate Bar Too Faced palette and taking white chocolate and just buffing that onto my brow bone just to highlight my brow bone. Then I'm taking my Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation and just dotting that all over my face, and then I'm going to buff it out using the buffing brush from Real Techniques, which is my all-time favorite brush to use for foundation. I think it buffs it out really smoothly, it really gets into your skin. You don't get any patchiness or streakiness. I just love this brush. Next, I'm taking my Born This Way concealer by Too Faced, which I'm obsessed with. I just got this, they just came out, and I love it. I think it has the perfect coverage. It's just a gorgeous finish, and I am in the shade Very Fair. And I'm just putting this underneath my eyes because I get really bad dark circles, on a couple of problem areas around my nose, and then on the bridge of my nose, and in between my eyebrows, just to highlight. And then I'm taking a damp beauty sponge and just buffing that out. Now I'm taking the Primed and Poreless Pressed Powder by Too Faced and on my Real Techniques contouring brush, and I'm just putting that underneath my eyes everywhere that I put the concealer just to set that concealer. It's always a good idea to set any cream-based products that you put on your face with a pressed powder or any type of powder, just it makes it last longer and it helps hide those pores. Next, I'm going to be taking the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer and just going to do a light contour just to kind of warm up the face. I'm using my Lorac contouring brush. This came with the Pro Contouring Kit to kind of get that harsh line just to kind of define my cheek and chisel out that cheek. And then I'm taking the e.l.f. Beautifully Bare blending brush and just buffing it out to make it look a little bit more natural. Now I'm taking my RCMA No Color Powder on a Morphe M459 brush, and I'm doing a technique called baking. This is to just help sharpen up your contour, so you put it underneath the contour wherever you feel like you messed up, where it got a little too blended out, lower on your cheek. Also taking the RCMA No Color Powder on my smile lines because I find that throughout the day, if I look in the mirror, I have really bad creases where my smile lines are, so putting a powder there helps to keep it from creasing. Using an e.l.f. blush brush, I use the Sweethearts blush by Too Faced in the shade Candy Glow, and then I'm just taking this Wet n Wild Illuminator palette and I'm using those first two strips, and I'm just going to highlight the tops of my cheekbones with it. Using my Wet n Wild powder brush, I'm just wiping away the RCMA No Color Powder from my cheeks to complete the baking process. Using that Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, I'm just going to warm up my temples and the top of my forehead, as well as my jawbone. Jumping back into the palette, I'm taking my Morphe M32 brush and taking that shade Rammer Jammer and just starting to put that along my lower lash line on the outer corners and inner corners of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take my Morphe E36 brush with just a little more of that Rammer Jammer just to start buffing out the lower lash line. To use on my waterline, I'm going to be using the NYX Treasury Gel Pencil Liner in the shade Pitch Black. To do my top liner, I'm going to be using the Galactic Beauty Precise Eyeliner Marker in black. I got it in my BoxyCharm, and I did this off camera just because it took a very long time. And then I curled my lashes and applied the Extra Sculpt Volume Mascara by Kiko. For my lower lashes, I just used the Roller Lash Mascara by Benefit. And then I'm taking this highlighter, it's from Urban Decay, it's in the shade Sin, and just going over and highlighting my brow bone, and then putting a little bit more on top of the Wet n Wild highlighters that I put on my cheeks because it's glow season, you gotta be glowy. And then I'm taking the lippy stick from ColourPop in the shade Aquarius, it's from Kathleen Lights. And that completes this tutorial using the Violet Voss and Laura Lee palette. I hope you guys like it. Please subscribe, and I will see you later.